Classic, and we are excited for this one. First possession of the game going to the Huskies. And if that looks like Quade Green, that is Quade Green, a former Kentucky Wildcat who just had his appeal granted last week, so he gets a full year of playing time instead of only being eligible to begin his time with the Huskies at the semester break.
Baylor goes man-to-man. They doubled Isaiah Stewart as soon as he put the ball on the floor. He's going to have to do a better job of handling it as Washington turns it over on their first possession, largely because of the double team.
And here comes Maceo Teague, the transfer from UNC Asheville, number 31. He can really shoot it. And Washington, no surprise, Jay, they start in a 2-3 zone.
That's what they do. And Mike Hopkins, they can play man and did play man sometimes last year. But I think with their length, they are going to go zone all the time in this one.
Teague, who is a terrific shooter, a low release, but a great shooter, gets the shot off and he knocks it down.
Well, you're right about that low release point. He loads it up and shoots it from underneath his chin. But if you give him a little bit of time, he can really knock it down. He was an excellent scorer at UNC.
Again, Green at the point for Washington. Little turnaround fadeaway in the soft touch to get Washington on the board.
Quade Green played at Kentucky, as you mentioned, and was one of the best shooters on that Kentucky team. Just not quite as athletic as some of the guys he was going up against, but per 40 minutes, he averaged over 15 points, shot 45% from three.
Boy, Tristan Clark didn't realize there was nobody near him. Finally turned around, faced the bucket, but he couldn't knock it down.
There won't be anybody near him because that's what Washington wants to give up. They don't mind if Tristan Clark takes that shot near the free throw line. That's just a 2, and it is not an easy shot. This is what Washington does not want to allow, those threes.
A deep 3 there from Jared Butler, who's coming off a 30-point effort Tuesday against Central Arkansas. Isaiah Stewart, his first field goal attempt will be a 3, and he misses it wide left.
Hesitated on that one. Carter should have taken that ball in transition all the way to the rim. Nobody from Baylor stopped him. He stopped himself.
Look at the length on one side up at the top of that zone with McDaniels at 6'9".
McDaniels has like a 7'5" wingspan. If he gets his hands up, he can really discourage that shot as he just did, forcing that turnover from Davion Mitchell.
And a chance to run for the Huskies. And Hamir Wright called for the travel. He got caught in between
a little bit, but he's a good-looking prospect.
There's another look, and Clark again.
They're not going to guard him. Yep. Not going to guard him there. Good job of getting out the shooters.
Right from the wing, and he buries the 3.
Really good ball movement. Quade Green with a nice paint touch and kicking it out to Hamir Wright. We were just talking about his ability to shoot it. And he proved us right by knocking that down.
Right from Albany, New York. There's a strong New York State presence on this Washington team. And again, a lot of that, of course, goes back to Mike Hopkins' roots all his years at Syracuse.
Quade Green looks so much better this year than he did last year. He's always been in good shape, but he looks in great shape right now.
Nice interior passing. Clark can't finish, though, on the feed from Freddie Gillespie. Rebounding team, and Baylor has been an extraordinary offensive rebounding team in recent years, so that's something to keep an eye on tonight.
Well, especially Mark Vital, who is one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. Leading rebounder last year. He's coming off the bench. When he gets in there, he's going to go after the offensive board.
Yeah, he's going to knock some people down like bowling pins tonight, going after that board as well. He's a strong young man.
Good fake.
And then Wright lost it on the way up, and a chance for Baylor to run.
5 on 3.
Wide open look. Teague, and he knocks down his second 3 of the night.
Not enough players back. When Hamir Wright drove in, he took down Isaiah Stewart. It looked like bowling pins going down, and it left a 5 on 3 for Baylor. They took advantage.
Stewart with good position. Jump hook. Follows it up, but misses again.
He didn't get the tip, but how quick off the floor was Isaiah Stewart going after that? Just a good-looking player. He is so strong. He's a man-child.
Stewart committed first, and then he basically recruited to McDaniels. McDaniels is the local product from Federal Way, Washington, and Stewart kept on him to commit to Washington, which McDaniels did a few months later.
So you got a guy from Rochester recruiting a guy from Seattle, essentially.
Makes sense.
To go to Washington. It happens all the time.
Another wide open look for a 3. This time it's Jared Butler, and Mike Hopkins can't be happy.
You got to find shooters in transition, especially. Jared Butler averaged 10 points a game last year, had 30 in the game against Central Arkansas. He hit 8 3-point shooters and say, hey, if you can make that shot, go ahead and make it.
But he's got to take it, right? If they're going to leave him wide open, doesn't he have to kind of force them into changing their outlook on it?
They're not going to change it. They're going to say, are you going to make 30 of those?
Right. And from time to time, because they like it off speed pitch, something just to change the way that the Bears are looking at them. But they're staying in the 2-3 zone right now. Bay up at the top along with Green. And another 3 for Mitchell. So Baylor's got 4 buckets, and they're all 3-pointers.
Well, using a baseball analogy, that was a fat pitch down the middle. Nobody got a hand up. And Davion Mitchell just stepped easily into that shot. And Mitchell's not a big player. You got to get a hand up to discourage that. Baylor sticking with man-to-man. Baylor played about 50% zone. I think maybe a little more than 50% zone last year.
Inadvertent Florida, the Gators, I know a team you are very high on going into the season.
I think Florida's got a chance to be a truly outstanding basketball team. They've got a freshman phenom from the McDonald's All-America game, Scotty Lewis, that's coming in. They've got really good guards. Noah Locke, who can really shoot it. Andrew Nemhard, a sophomore point guard. And then they've got Kerry Blackshear Jr. transferred in from Virginia Tech, who could very well be SEC Player of the Year. But Florida State's had their way with Florida the last few years.
And
oftentimes we'll say thank you for your service. Is that the best thing for us to say thank you, or what would you like to hear?
You know, that is the most humbling thing that I think any service member can hear from the public. We are called to do this job, and when somebody just stops us and says thank you, that means a lot.
Wow. No drip spout. And now a 3-hour process takes 45 minutes.
Wow, what a great story.
And she's trying to scale it throughout the entire Air Force right now. That's one of her tasks. I mean, it was incredible listening to that story. And 2 19-year-old airmen came up with that.
Amazing. You know, you don't realize how young they are until you meet them and shake their hands.
It doesn't compare. It's just a shadow of a shadow of what our men and women in uniform commit to. It's really incredible.
That last foul a couple of minutes ago, by the way, on Washington as Stewart banks it in. Nicely done. Was on Jaden McDaniels, his second. So McDaniels has had to go to the bench. Amir Wright is checked back in for the Huskies.
Well, Isaiah Stewart, very impressive. He's a good passer. He can run, and he shoots it well. But that was a strong move that he made. Great pass.
And a nice left-handed lay in there by Vital.
Getting the ball inside, and then a nice dive down to the rim by Vital. That was impressive. This is a good passing team.
And a 3 at the other end by Nazea Carter, the leading returning scorer the Huskies have at just over 8 points per game.
Mike Hopkins really believes that it's Naz Carter's time. He's always been efficient with the ball. There's an elite athlete, but he's played behind older players.
Well, Vital didn't want the shot the first time around. The second time he did, and he knocked it down.
Well, you notice that Vital's not catching the ball
to the first half here in Anchorage. Slide. Took an August trip to Italy. Hardy was the starting point guard. Got a lot of valuable minutes, and now he figures to back up Green, or in this case, play alongside him.
A lot of switching right now out of the man-to-man by Baylor. Washington should be able to take advantage of that, or at least try to. Last several possessions, the Huskies have done a good job of looking to get the ball inside. Mike Hopkins wants to play inside out.
Nicest young man you'll ever meet.
Really nice, yeah. Very personable, really nice young man. And Jaden McDaniels, also really nice, but a lot quieter.
Vital no-look pass. Tough catch there by Clark. Fade away over Stewart will go.
A tough shot by Tristan Clark. That's the kind of shot that Stewart wants to force. But he just made it coming off that knee injury last. He shot 74% from the field last year before he had that left knee injury that he was lost for the season.
And Stewart's going to go right back at him, and what a weapon that jump hook is for that young man.
If he keeps getting that kind of low post position with 2 feet in the paint when he catches, he's going to score 30. Maybe more. You have to think they're going to continue to go to him, and if there's a double that comes, he's a good passer. Got to switch.
Van Du, the kick out. Butler knocks down the 3, his second of the game. Remember, coming off a 30-point effort against Central Arkansas, and Baylor for the second game in a row lighting it up from beyond the arc.
Elijah Hardy helped off, got caught in no man's land, couldn't get back out in time. Got to get out there and make him put the ball on the deck. Butler is such a good player. Had 31 last year against Kansas.
Carter rises up for the jumper, left it a little short. Butler. And stolen away by the Huskies.
How about the defense by Carter?
Bay steps into a three, won't go. Boy, good hands. Again, so much length. They're going to get so many deflections. And they're going to get a bucket at the other end from Naz Carter.
Carter got bumped a little bit. Carter is an excellent dunker. A little surprised he didn't go up and try to put a highlight reel together. His game last year, he had a game against Oregon State. I watched the tape of it last night. Guys don't have that many highlight dunks in their careers he had against the Beavers in Corvallis.
Washington's going to have a lot of highlights this year. Again, tremendous athleticism on this team. Vandu from the wing misses the three.
Tough shot. But Stewart's a little bit tired.
A whistle or a timeout, rather, coming on the next whistle.
There's the good passing that he's capable of.
Back to really even before high school. He never played organized basketball until 8th grade, and then had a couple of serious injuries in his high school career, which is why he wound up at Division III. Maybe the most amazing part, as a freshman at Carleton in D3, he only played 16 minutes
now, which is he is a complete load. My goodness.
Clark inside. And almost a little bit of a screen there by Gillespie. It'll be Penn State taking on Minnesota. Then at 7:30, Clemson squares off with NC State. McDaniels, Stewart, at the same time. Stewart, McDaniels, and Quade Green, who started his career at Kentucky. Stewart, no. Great effort from the weak side there by Naz Carter, but he couldn't get it to go.
What a rebound by Tristan Clark.
Myers steps into a three. He is not shy. And what a rebound there by McDaniels.
That was a possession where all five guys in purple.
Nose and 4 black eyes. 4 separate occasions he's gotten a black eye.
Played at Syracuse under Jim Boeheim. Comes from Orange County, California. Played at Mater Dei. Great passing.
And a contest at the rim. Gillespie screaming for a foul. Doesn't get the call. Behind the back, McDaniels. Tough pull-up. How about that?
What a talent. Long-armed, a high release. He is a multi-level scorer that's got some craftiness to his game. And he's just scratching the surface of how good he's going to be. And look how good he is now.
A deep three, a little bit short by Davion Mitchell, the transfer from Auburn.
McDaniels brought that rebound down with one hand. He brought that down just with his left hand. And then started the break. I mean, he can initiate offense at his size. Going into a little horn set. And now a 5-4 ball screen. Good pass.
Stewart surrounded. Tried to follow up his own miss, but it's Baylor ball. Mitchell, nice look ahead to Clark.
That was a big-time break. The rim run by Clark and the delivery by Davion Mitchell.
Fighter pilots on the base here in Anchorage. There are the Dicemen, and there are the Bulldogs. And there's a friendly rivalry, but it is really quite the rivalry.
It is quite the rivalry. We found out quite a bit about it. You'll get to see more of that at halftime as we shared a beverage with the Dicemen.
And it is a great room. I mean, we were talking about everything that's hanging on the walls and all the history. Every single artifact in that room has a story, tells a story. Stewart the kick out. Nice extra look from Green to Carter, and he'll splash down a three.
Carter really took his time to get that shot off. His feet were set, and yet another assist for Quade Green. I think that's his 7th assist of this first half. But you heard LaFonso Ellis and John Crispin in the studio talk about the turnovers for Washington. Washington has 12 turnovers. You get fouled. All three good things for the offense that you're denying yourself. And Washington has denied itself a lot of opportunities on the offensive end by not being secure with the ball.
And then Butler trying to make some.
Offensive end has been, they've gone a little bit too fast. Going back into horn set. See, that
down only 7 in this game.
But one thing they don't do is foul. There haven't been a lot of free throws shot in this game. Nice job by Naz Carter to get out of Maceo T.
Vital the kick. Teague the three, in and out. Vital had it for a... I learn something new every day. Nearing the end of the first half. Again, remember, we've got 2 games for you tonight. We've got University of Alaska and...
A pretty good knock on the part of McDaniels to put him on his back. Anytime you lower that shoulder and your shoulder hits the chest of the defender, they're calling a charge.
Gillespie, the Washington bench.
Get the ball up on the rim.
Carter baseline, smothered there by Gillespie.
And blocked with the left hand. That was beautiful.
Vital and Gillespie stripped.
Well, Hamir Wright went down. He got that strip while he was still on the ground.
And how about that steal by Mitchell?
Great take.
Wow.
We've had takedowns and...
You will, is a warning. The second and beyond, they are Class B technical fouls, which results in 1 free throw.
It was interesting. I would not have thought that was a flop. I thought it was a foul. That they should have just called a foul there.
And a 1 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
Because if Vital flopped, then you had to think that that Carter flopped as well.
Of the second half, as we check out our first half stats, brought to you by Vanguard. Corner 3. Jared Butler.
Jared Butler did a really nice job with the shot fake. You know, shot fake, let the defender fly by, and that was an easy standstill jump shot.
And Butler coming off a 30-point effort against Central Arkansas, has a dozen now in this game. Nice interior pass. Stewart to McDaniels, and good patience on the inside by Jaden McDaniels.
Oh, an excellent job of moving into the middle of the lane when Isaiah Stewart caught that ball. And again, Stewart showing that he is a really good passer.
Boy, Tristan Clark, I wonder if Scott Drew said to him, you got to turn and face the basket and make a play when you get the ball there, because he did quickly, but he couldn't finish it. Wow, sticking with it is Stewart. Yeah, there are other alternatives.
Pretty lame excuse.
Maybe he just likes Crocs. Well, again, look at the length with McDaniels at 6'9", out of the top of that zone.
I think Baylor can screen the zone and get some opportunities. That was a foul.
They play on, and McDaniels has the loose ball for the Huskies.
Stewart had his arm down, wasn't straight up and down. What a play there. Got fouled.
Behind the back, takes a bump and finishes. He is some kind of skilled.
That was an and one. Yeah, he is tremendously skilled. Jaden McDaniels, mobile, fluid, and you can see he has perimeter skills.
Clark switch.
I think you're looking at the prototype NBA big guy going forward. That's the way the league is trending. Boy, Stewart was wide open. He's got to get the ball. Give it to him.
He is working hard for position against Clark. Immediate double team.
And he looks opposite. That's a big time pass.
McDaniels misses the slam, misses the fun.
What you meant.
Isn't it make fun of Seth night?
We'll get there. It's still early.
Floater from the baseline, and Butler's having a big night for Baylor.
Well, Baylor's going to have some opportunities to get the ball along the baseline, but they're just, those are twos. And Washington is not as concerned about giving up a two. That was a floater two, and really not an easy shot.
Right for 3.
Great block out by Freddie Gillespie.
And a full head of steam for Maceo Teague.
UNC Asheville has produced some really good players that have transferred to high major play. You remember one of the last guys from UNC Asheville that had a great career at a high major was Andrew Rousey at Marquette.
Grad transfers where guys are finishing off at a higher level.
Well, they become better players, and you know, they go to a higher major job. When a player blossoms, why can't the player aspire to more?
No, fair point. And Scott Drew has taken a lot of transfers over his time in Waco. Turnaround there by Teague.
I like him. He is a good player.
You know, Baylor, as it was pointed out to us yesterday, it's one of only 6 Power 5 programs that has won 18 or more games 12 consecutive years. And they're in some pretty heady company with the other 5. Great elevation there by Carter. You're talking about the blue bloods of the sport and Baylor. have won 18 or more games 12 consecutive years. Look at the company the Bears are keeping.
Well, Scott Drew's done a really
Land.
Baylor in this game, an excellent offensive rebounding team. They've got 5 total offensive rebounds, not a single second chance point.
That basket's going to go. Jamal Bay a little bit shaken up for Washington. He and Vital collided. And as is usually the case, the guy who collides with Vital gets the worst of it.
Well, he took one right in the chops. And he's still looking down. I'm not sure whether he lost a Bay. No flop warning on that one.
No. Runner won't go for Green. Long rebound to Carter. McDaniels. Well, when he wants to get a shot off, he's going to get a shot off. Just a question of whether he hits it. Clark inside, bumping with Stewart. Stewart didn't give an inch, and it's not like Clark is not a strong guy or anything.
Yeah, you cannot move Isaiah Stewart off of his spot. Got away with a walk there.
Wow, then muscles it up and in.
He is a big time to rim and finishing that play. Washington has to get stops here. They've turned the ball over so much in the first half. Put themselves at a disadvantage. Good fake. Which is really difficult against Baylor. And for the most part, after an early start where they gave up a number of threes, they've really defended the three-point line pretty well. It's the fact their offense has not been as good. Well, they got to start passing the ball.
Washington staying in the zone. Now with Green and Hardy at the top of it. So a smaller look, although Hardy comes up with a steal. Carter into the lane. Left hand won't go. And Stewart off his fingertips. Pull up, Bandu. Yes.
Boy, what a big shot by Devontae Bandu from Mississauga, Ontario. Just a big energy guy when he comes into the ball game. And after
Bandu came off the bench for 15 points, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc against Central Arkansas on Tuesday. And this is the largest lead of the game for the Bears. McDaniels not afraid to drive into traffic, had it rejected, got it back. Oh, and a slam on the baseline for Carter.
But Washington really stuck with it there. What a
jobs that are performed on the base, joint base. Elmerdorf, Richardson, Jay Bear here in Anchorage. Everybody's got their job to do. Everybody knows what it is. And Jay, everybody does it brilliantly.
Just absolute studs in the armed forces. Just it's so inspiring to be around them.
Nice turnaround there by Gillespie.
Well, he's had a good game. He had 14.7 rebounds against Central Arkansas. And he's had some really good.
Kind of did a little hop step with both his feet before he started his move. And if you shuffle both your feet, it's a walk. And they're trying to cut down on some of the traveling in the game. Mitchell kicks it back out to Butler. Tough one. Around and out. Kept alive by Gillespie, but here comes McDaniels. 4 on 2. And they don't get anything easy out of it.
Yeah, really good job by Baylor to get back. First of all, they've made it difficult for McDaniels to get all the way to the rim. Play.
Oh my, you can run so much offense from. Let's bring in Coach Greenberg with more on the Gators.
Yeah, the Gators can win a national championship. Andrew Nembhard had a great experience this past summer playing with the Canadian national team. I'm sure you're excited about that, Dan.
Yes, very aware.
They've got legitimate depth in the perimeter. Sky Lewis is obviously a world-class athlete. Trey Mann. This is a very complete team. My question is, last year they played at a very slow pace. We know they're going to defend. Can they get some easy baskets in transition this year with their athleticism? I think that'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think they will play faster. And they'll be much better defensively. Scotty Lewis coming in, a McDonald All-American, is a great defender. But boy, how about that play, getting the ball inside with an angle to Isaiah Stewart. When he gets a foot in the paint, forget it.
Bandu almost coughed it up. Gets it back. 3 from the wing, and he rattles it home.
What a great cut by Bandu to come right behind Freddie Gillespie and get that ball to be able to shoot behind him. Used him essentially as a screen, but also bailed him out. That was a big-time play by Devontae Bandu.
Baylor's got so many good guards who can make plays. Green, no. Look at McDaniel.
After Tristan Clark went out with his injury. So they're down a player that they expected in Kegler to really be one of their leading scorers.
Clark.
Would have called it on the shot.
Pull up by Green. Left it short.
Yeah, that little horn set. That's a shot that Quade Green needs to knock down.
Butler got McDaniels in the air and banks one home. What a pretty play.
And a smart play by Jared Butler, because he knows that McDaniels is in some foul trouble and doesn't want to pick one up. He took advantage of it.
Stewart got his man in the air and lays it in with the left hand.
How about those feet? I mean, that's big-time footwork. And a lot under by the freshman Isaiah Stewart.
But could he have made that move in Crocs is the real question.
That's the issue.
I feel a 94 feet in Crocs coming at some point with you and Isaiah Stewart this year.
Only one of us will be wearing them. It won't be me.
8 minutes to go in regulation. Baylor has led almost the entire night, and they're up by 11 on Washington right now.
Good pass.
And an assist for Stewart on the bucket for Carter.
Every time Isaiah Stewart touches the ball, something good happens. And he caught that off the block, immediately looked out to Carter, who was ready to shoot, and he was able to take his time. That was a really big possession to cut this to an 8-piece.
And Jay said
that was his explanation.
Why is your name Arsenic? Well, I burned some stuff. And then he just kind of trailed off, and we didn't hear the end of the story. After that, it was all classified information.
Basically, your call sign is whatever they find out about you that's embarrassing. Daniels are in double figures along with Naz Carter. Naz Carter's got 19. But Stewart has been so effective when he's gotten the ball inside because he can pass it back out.
Remember, Baylor's had a game. This is Washington's first game. And maybe that explains why they've turned it over 19 times now.
Well, that was just a bad angle.
But Carter just ripped that ball right away. Trying to go coast to coast. And he's rejected by Gillespie. And here come the Bears.
That's the third block by Gillespie.
Oh, and a block by McDaniels, but a bucket for Baylor.
But Gillespie's had a great game. 3 blocks, 2 steals, 9 rebounds. And now double figures scoring. He's been terrific.
Soft touch for McDaniels. Boy, is he good. One dribble, pull up from the mid-range.
He's the real thing.
Yeah.
He is the real thing. This is a high-level, unselfish. One of the things about both Stewart and McDaniels, they're unselfish. And there's no jealousy at all. I mean, they want to see each other do well. They're great teammates.
Look at the length on the zone right now with Quade Green not in the game. And he's a great player, but just he's 6 feet tall. They're 6'6", 6'6" at the top of the zone, and all 3 guys on the back line are 6'9".
And Quade Green's had a good game, definitely assist-wise. He's got 9 assists, but he's not been able to score in this one.
But every time Washington makes a push, Baylor answers.
Well, that certainly wasn't a bad shot, but you'd still like to see Washington play inside out. What a pass.
And a great cut and lay in for Teague.
Well, you're right about that cut. He continued to move as the ball moved and just found his way underneath the basket. That was a beautifully threaded pass.
You know, there's so many things about basketball that some guys just seem to have. Is cutting one of those skills that some guys just know how to do better than other guys?
Yes. That's part of having a great feel for the game, of finding open spots. And Demir Wright knocks that 3 down. Another guy that can really shoot. He's had battled some foul trouble in this one.
Swarming Bandu on the sideline there. He got rid of it, but it's another rejection. The length of McDaniels comes into play again. And a good decision not to force anything. Bay off the glass. Draws.
I'm picking Alabama. If Tua Tagovailoa plays, I think Alabama wins the game.
I'll take LSU and dinner down in Portland. How's that?
You're going to take dinner?
No, yes, because LSU will win.
Oh, what a
whoa! And it goes in, but no back.
Big possession right now for Baylor. They can get a score here, keep a little bit of distance.
Great interior passing, but another block. The length of Washington comes into play again. Wow, what a battle. Bears come out with it.
Well, all they had to do was tie it up. Washington had the arrow.
Bandu misses from the corner. They scrap again for the loose ball, and it belongs to the Huskies.
Boy, this is high level on the glass.
The last 4 or 5 minutes have been by far the best 4 or 5 minutes of this game. We are seeing the talent that both of these teams have right now.
Ball's got to go inside to Isaiah Stewart. Let him touch it.
McDaniels, nowhere to go. But he is fouled. Oh boy, as they've been in a long time.
But Vital in the middle. And remember, they don't really care if he shoots the ball in there.
Nearly a turnover. Shot clock did not reset. Vital from the elbow. A pass to pass inside.
Well, there's a lot of contact.
Why not make the team that didn't get a defensive rebound play a full 30 seconds of D, but I like the more possession.
And I think the answer is because they're selling tickets.
It is the entertainment business. 2.5 to go. Off balance Bay. Bay to the deck. Baylor ball.
Bad possession by Washington.
And a technical. The Bears have it now. Up by 5. 2:20 to go. Over the top to Clark. Too strong off the glass.
Over the back.
And 3.
Pass fakes and shot fakes for Baylor would go a long way here, because Washington is going to try to be really aggressive. Good pass.
Butler's going to get a 3. Great rebound by Gillespie, but he has it knocked away, and it'll be out of bounds.
I looked to Isaiah Stewart here. Let him touch it.
McDaniels cross court. Wide open look. And a game-time 3 for Carter.
Another great pass by Washington. This time by McDaniels out of the post. Looking opposite. Boy, how good has Naz Carter been in this game?
The only time the Huskies led this game was at 5-3. Around and out. Ball still. Safe play into the backcourt, and here comes Bandu.
Got to get some movement here.
Teague.
That's not a good shot at all.
At the NBA level, you don't see it as often as you would think at the college level.
You're seeing it more often, though.
Daniels trying to post, being fronted right now by Teague.
Baylor switching just about everything.
Been a while since Stewart's had a good touchdown low.
There it is.
Almost automatic, it seems.
And he's going against Mark Vital, who is really strong. It's just that he's 6'5".
It says all the length that he's got out there defensively right now in that zone.
They're going man-to-man.
Yep.
Going man-to-man and switching.
First time tonight, right?
No, they played it in the first half for several minutes. You have to have a 3.
Baylor's got one timeout. Doesn't look like they're going to use it.
Good switch by Wright.
Teague will force it, miss it, and